Williams Foods, more than just a grocery store. Williams Foods has been serving communities since 1971. That is 45 years strong and counting. We are successful because we offer great service, great prices, fresh produce, and the best meat money can buy. Williams Foods is not just in your communities, we are a part of your community. We donate 1% back to any nonprofit organization, and we donate up to 6 cents per labels to anyone fundraising. Williams Foods, where we still sack and carry out your groceries for you because you deserve it.
There's a few things we live by in Oklahoma: honesty, integrity, and hard work. At Triton Foundation Repair, if you don't need foundation repair work, we will be the company that tells you, because when you do need it, we want to be the company that doesn't. Honesty, integrity, and hard work. Triton Foundation Repair.
Al's Heat and Air is a proud supporter of the Tuttle Tigers. Serving the Tuttle area for almost 40 years, we work on all makes and models. As a trained comfort specialist, we sell the best and service the rest. Al's Heat and Air, 405-381-3602.
Looking for the perfect way to satisfy your barbecue cravings? Look no further. We welcome everyone to enjoy our mouth-watering barbecue made with love and care. With a kids menu and outdoor patio, we have something for all ages. Come for the barbecue, stay for the good times with family and friends.
At Ortho Central, we're committed to making your life better. Whether it's getting you back to the sport you love, chasing after grandkids, or easing chronic pain. With locations in Norman, Midwest City, and Newcastle. Ortho Central, we're part of your team.
Over the years, a lot has changed. Thankfully, in Tuttle, a few things have stayed the same. The people here are still the best, the school's teams are always competitive, and Williams Plumbing Service is still serving the community. For all your plumbing needs, call Williams Plumbing Service. One family serving Tuttle since 1949. Thank you, Tuttle, and go Tigers.
Where you call home is important, and when things break, who you call to fix that home is also important. When it comes to heat and air needs, local matters. Bo Kokenauer of Koch's Mechanical knows that, and that's why Koch's Mechanical takes pride in serving the community he calls home.
Need your AC serviced? Let our dad serve you.
At Tactical Pest Solutions, we prevent pests from taking over. Our defense will give you peace of mind, keeping your home or business safe from pesky bugs or creepy crawlers. Our tactical approach proactively treats your spaces before high-traffic pest season. Make an appointment today, even if you haven't seen indications of bugs or pests, so we can play defense for your home team. Give us a call and let's keep your home or business free of what's bugging you. Tactical Pest Solutions. We can beat the bugs to the punch.
Whether you just came from a workout or you're just out and about, our Social Sips have everything you need to feel good to feel good. Here at Social, we have a variety of teas, shakes, social bowls, or you can even try one of our cold brew coffees, made with you in mind. At Mustang Social and Hometown Social, it's always tea time.
At Marshall Auto Supply, our Napa certified parts professionals are here to help. We stock a wide variety of parts and accessories for all makes and models. Marshall Auto Supply. Stop by or call us today. Located in Chickasha or on Main Street in Tuttle.
All right, we're here on the playoff preview show, our fourth one of these now, championship week, and the state final Saturday over at UCO at Chad Richardson Stadium. Coach Ballard, Coach Matt Brand, Barrett Shoup with me this week, and we let the players have the evening off. A little bit different structure. We had planned on a wrestling duel happening tonight, and Sulphur just coming off of their football season wasn't quite ready, so we pushed the broadcast up for this and changed the days. But it was a fun week, and we talked about it a little bit off air, and total 24-0 win last week against Bethany in the semifinals. Just overall, Coach B, what about that win stood out to you besides the fact that you won the game, you get to play this championship game?
I thought the kids did a great job of handling their business. We had every reason in the world to be distracted, playing someone twice. We had an extra week of preparation. All of the things that could go wrong did not go wrong. And we handled our week well the first week. We corrected a lot of mistakes we had against them the first time and had our Thanksgiving practice, which was awesome. And then the second week worked on some new things, and the kids went out and executed. I thought there were some things they got us with the first time. They converted a couple of 3rd and 20. They converted a 4th and 20 against us, and worked really hard on correcting those things. And we go out there and they didn't get those this time, and thought everyone was opportunistic. I thought offense, defense, special teams all played their roles. The kids stayed calm, and we did what we had to do to win a ball game. And it's the reason we're playing one more week. So fun day.
It was a fun week, and we talked a little bit about we were talking about it before we started the show, but people say, well, you didn't play as well this week. Well, and I think Coach Shoup said we beat them by more than we did last time, and they didn't score a point. So I know Coach Limo is over watching middle school basketball, our defensive coordinator, but I bet he was pretty pleased with that outing. And
He was, and I tried to get him to come up here tonight. In fact, I tried to get everybody to come up here tonight. But Coach Finn handled some wrestling. Coach Wallace had a Christmas program. Bell was babysitting.
Yeah.
And Coach Limo had a middle school basketball game. And these guys, I didn't give a choice. They're new. So
yeah, rookies got to
anyway,
come.
that's right. No, they showed up willingly. So
Yeah. Well, talking about last week's ball game, I'll start with you, Coach Shoup. Coach Shoup and Coach Brand, co-offensive coordinators, both in their first year here in Tuttle. And the ground game last week, you asked your running back to be a workhorse at times, and he had it 26 carries, 168 yards. Cruz, not as much of an aerial attack as far as attempts, but fairly efficient. I thought he did a really good job taking care of the ball, and 3 out of his 5 completions are touchdowns. I thought he made some really good touch throws and stuff like that. Maybe talk a little bit about just the ground game that went on last week, and then Cruz's aerial attack. Brand, you can touch on that.
Just as far as the run game, I felt like we knew going in if we could run the football, we're going to be fine. And we expected a light box based on our first time. We jumped out really quick the first time, and then we don't feel like we executed very well in the run game. So we had a feeling they would come out kind of a light box. And I give credit to the O-line and obviously Sean, but also trusting Cruz to make the right check. He was doing it throughout the night. First half, we were just getting after him up front. And didn't cash in on a couple drives. And then second half, Coach Brand had a couple adjustments, and we got him in some stuff and took advantage, some one-on-ones. And so I thought it was efficient, and it's semifinal football. I mean, everybody's amped up a little bit. I thought early we missed on a couple things. Me and Cruz had some good talks. He calmed down, put it in there, and guys made plays when they had their chance. So,
Coach Brand, what did you see maybe a little bit that was different? I mean, there was a 2-week period, and they can make some serious changes in a 2-week period. We had to do that in 1 week early in the year with our defense. And so what are some things that you kind of noticed that they tried to kind of challenge you with, different looks and stuff, and how do you overcome that quick?
Well, they were in a 4-front the first time we played them. They switched it up to a 3-front. We kind of anticipated that. They mixed it up on us the first game, but they stayed in the 3-front the whole time this last game. They did a really good job of using that extra box fitter, the guy that we kind of are like, okay, this guy's going to tell us whether we want to run or pass. They did a good job of starting from space and getting to the box, or starting from the box and running to space. And that kind of made it to where we had to just call a play instead of, let the quarterback make a decision. And, we started off saying, we're running the ball for 6, 7, 8 yards of carry. Let's run it until they stop it. And then the shots came later, that's just kind of how we attacked it. We only threw the ball 11 times.
Sure.
Which is probably our least amount of the year, especially in a big game that we played past halftime. There was one game he was 9 of 10, I think I remember. But other than that, I mean, our attempts were way down compared to normal, but that's what they wanted us to do, and we executed up front and with the running back. And I was really pleased. We averaged almost 8 yards per play on the night. If we do that, it's hard to lose.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the graphic there, Kevin can pull that up for us. But we run a few less plays than those guys. You outgain them 388 to 222. Pass yardage is still pretty high up there at 171 to 112. Again, the rush yards 217 to 110, and the turnovers. I mean, that's been the big deal for the year, and it's a big deal every night you play football, and especially high school football. It's harder to overcome things and momentum shifts and all those things. But you see the numbers there. The stat leaders we talked about, Roundsville and Campbell. Jordan Lane, a couple catches with a touchdown, over 100 yards. He also had 5 tackles on that side of the ball. C.J. Simon caught a big pass on a kind of an adjustment play, a freestyle play that Cruz had to go make, and gets out of the pocket, slings it to him. He goes up and catches that. And then, McAdoo, I thought they kind of game planned around Brady. And I even talked to him because he's just one of my baseball players. But I said, hey, man, look at what your teammates are doing, and they're picking it up the slack. And that's what you love is you win football games this time of year. And so, Falwell, Avalar, McDoulet, another big night defensively for those guys. Jet McCoy has really been playing well. Tyrese has really been playing well on the defensive side of the ball. You see all their numbers there, causing those 2 picks, McCoy and Gonzalez. But you talked about 8 yards of play on offense. Coach B, the defense really showed up, and when you can keep anybody out of the end zone after going 2 weeks, they can adjust. They can put new wrinkles in that you don't see. And I thought they kind of had that momentum going, probably from some wrinkles you haven't seen, and then you guys really buckled up at the goal line. That's incredible.
It's so fun to play defense. Maybe not to be the defensive coordinator, but offenses know what they're doing. People are far advanced from where they used to be on offense, and really have to defend the whole field. And people get you spread out throughout the drive, and they did a great job of making use of some space. They had some really nice wrinkles from what they had the first time, and then you get inside the 10 there, and everything squashes down, and we get to go pin our ears back and play. And it's probably what we're best at. And you know, listen, there were lots of guys making a lot of plays. Adrian and Luke in there just grinding away, making tackle after tackle. I thought Wyatt Probst played good the times he was in. I thought Tyrese played good. I thought Brady played good. The corners, we've said it all year long, those 2 can cover. And they had to tackle, and I think they were a little frustrated early. They missed a couple tackles in the first quarter, first half, and then really buckled down in the second half and made some nice fits as corners into the run game. Jet has continued to show improvement still. He's just a kid that can cover some ground. He's developing a knack for defending the pass game. And Zarian's been solid as a rock at free safety back there. So, and then at defensive line, it takes a mix. You're not going to go in with just 3 guys. You've got to have 5 or 6 that can go in and play. And I think Kel Harriman, the freshman, has made a huge jump from where he was when we started this season until right now, and has been an anchor for us in there. Cam McDoulet has just been solid as a rock since day one, and he's got the type of motor you want at a defensive lineman. And then from there, it's by committee. Nick Wright, Garrett Rogers, Braden Baker, Mikey Avalar played quite a bit of defense. And, at this point, whatever it takes to get a win, that's what we're after. We got to score 1 more point than them. And, man, I was so proud of our defense. If there's a blade of grass there to defend, we have to defend it. We talked about that after the game. Whether it's a yard or 2 yards or 3 yards, we defend it till the end. It's just they're so selfless. Defense has to be where you're supposed to be, and all 11 people fit the correct way. And these guys are doing an excellent job of. And then, of course, a lot of credit goes to Coach Limo and Coach Finn and Coach Wallace. Adjustments throughout the game, tweaks here and there on what's going on throughout the game. And we knew they would have something for us, and they did. But it's really, really hard to beat someone twice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard. I was awfully proud of the way the kids went after it. And, I just can't tell you enough how proud I am of them. The kids have to do the work. We could steer them in the right direction, but if they don't listen, and I just thought their whole attitude all week was great. They were very coachable, took correction, took advice, did everything, and they took a lot of responsibility on themselves to be ready to play. So, golly, what a good one, man.
Well, you talked about it. You found a way to win, and you found a way to win 13 of them, and your opponent has as well. If we take a look at the playoff bracket here and kind of run down this whole thing, but Elk City in the first round at home, you have Hilldale coming to town, and you get a big win there, and then you get a 2-week break. You get Bethany. We take care of business last week. Elgin on the other side of that, they go face a physical team in Ardmore early on. Salisaw, an opponent we're really not familiar with on this part of the state. And then last week they go play against a big opponent in 4A, Wagner. And then that game, if you watched the replays of it, I felt like it was, and I know you've watched a lot more than I have, but I felt like it was two heavyweights going at it, and I've always felt from the outside looking in, I felt like those three teams were the best teams in 4A, and you don't quite know how it's going to shake out. But Wagner got themselves in a little bit of trouble, made some mistakes, and had some penalties that cost them some really big points. And but Elgin played a really good game, and we'll talk a little bit about Elgin when we come back. We're going to take a quick time out here on Tiger TV. We'll be right back with the playoff preview show and the championship round edition here after this commercial break.
Country Equipment Rentals is the spot for all the tools to help you get those projects done. Whether it's a power washer, jackhammer, stump grinder, or tiller, or if you need something a little bigger like a tractor and brush hog, skid steer, excavator, or even a bulldozer, Country Equipment Rentals is the place to go. Where you call home is important, and when things break, who you call to fix that home is also important. When it comes to heat and air needs, local matters. Bo Kokenauer of Koch's Mechanical knows that, and that's why Koch's Mechanical takes pride in serving the community he calls home.
Need your AC serviced? Let our dad serve you.
At Jamie Joe's, our burgers are handmade with 100% pure beef. From our grill to your table, you'll love every bite.
Jamie Joe's, half-price burgers all day Monday.
At Contemporary Family Dentistry, our core values are the heart of our Big Little practice since 2008. Our friendly and professional staff are here to ensure your experience at the dentist is a positive one. Does going to the dentist cause you anxiety? No worries. We offer IV sedation for all procedures and your comfort. We are open Monday through Friday at our Newcastle location and now also in Blanchard.
At Tactical Pest Solutions, we prevent pests from taking over. Our defense will give you peace of mind, keeping your home or business safe from pesky bugs or creepy crawlers. Our tactical approach proactively treats your spaces before high-traffic pest season. Make an appointment today, even if you haven't seen indications of bugs or pests, so we can play defense for your home team. Give us a call and let's keep your home or business free of what's bugging you. Tactical Pest Solutions. We can beat the bugs to the punch.
The First National Bank and Trust Company presents to you the Tuttle Team Spirit Card. We proudly serve more than 20 area schools and have donated more than $82,000 in 2023. So, what are you waiting for? Support your Tuttle Tigers and make every transaction count. Come by the bank to get your Team Spirit Card today at no cost to you. The First National Bank and Trust Company. Member FDIC.
All right, we're back here on the playoff preview show and championship edition of this. One more game left on the schedule, and if you're in Tuttle, you got to put this week on the schedule to make sure people are free. That'll be at 1:00 Saturday over at UCO at Chad Richardson Stadium. But Elgin Owls, also an undefeated team, 13-0, a physical team, an athletic team. They've got a quarterback that can throw the football. They got a big crew up front that's experienced and some high-level talent, if you want to call it that, some high-level recruited guys up front that cause problems. But Coach Brand and Shoop, I'll let you guys, their defense that you guys face, without getting into too much detail, obviously, but what are some of those challenges you guys face and some of those guys you got to kind of game plan around?
The biggest thing to me is the trenches. Like if we can have some success in there, we feel really good about. our game plan. It's all going to come down to, can we handle those big guys, to me.
I mean, they're well coached, they're big, they're physical, they believe in what they do. I think their kids play hard, and so I give them a lot of credit, but I'm excited about our kids. I'm excited about the work we've put in. I'm excited about the week that we've had. I'm excited about the season we've had. And I'll be honest, I feel like our team is still practicing well, getting better and working hard. And so I'm excited to go see. We get to go settle on the field and, got a lot of respect for them, but we're excited about the challenge.
Sure, Coach B. They've got the Meyer kid in the backfield and their quarterback. Those guys all play baseball. I know quite a few of them, and they're household names on the baseball diamond. They're household names in 4A football right now too. But the two towns are very similar. They're hardworking people and hard nosed, and sometimes a little gritty and dirty, and sometimes. But talk a little bit about the other side of the ball and the offensive attack that they employ and kind of what they do well.
They're very balanced. There's no holes in what they have. There's not a weak spot anywhere. I know most people want to talk about two linemen, but really all of their linemen play well. They play well together. Very well coached. Running game's outstanding. And then the running back is outstanding. I think the quarterback is a very good operator. He manages the game well, knows what to do, what not to do. Big tight end, play a couple of different tight ends, very skilled receivers. There's no holes in it. I mean, there's a reason they've won 13 in a row, and they really were in the hunt last year as well in Class 5A. So, I think they've come back on a mission, and you got to respect what they've done. They've got a great body of work there. Coach Chalmer White's done a great job with them. Their staff does a great job. Man, we have nothing but respect for what's going on over there. And, that's the way it should be. Two teams win 13 in a row. And you get to meet on a Saturday in the sunshine and go see what's up. I mean, that's all you can ask for as a player, as a coach. Let's go play. We want to play good teams. We want to play against people that do things well. And that's what we're going to face. And we're fully aware of it. And, we are ready to play. Our kids are tired of practicing. They're tired of hearing us talk, and they want to go play football. And we're excited for them. It's a great day. It's a big deal for both towns, both communities, both schools. I know this: when your football season starts off well, you have a pretty good school year.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of administrators and people would tell you that, and that's what we have here. We've had a fun fall, lots of success in all the sports, and we're just happy to be playing football on the last day of the season, and proud of the kids. Very thankful for our community and our village. I say it all the time. It takes a village, and we have a really good village in Tuttle. And we just want to go play football, man. We don't care about anything but football from this point forward. We're ready to get to the game.
No doubt about it. We've had these coaches shows the last 4 weeks, and it's been fun to talk about all the things and all the different players, and it comes down to the end, and then it's exciting, and for these seniors, they get to strap it on one more time wearing the Stack T helmet and all that stuff outside of the All-Star games and stuff like that. But with this group of guys, what's been the temperature as the playoffs have started? I know we've talked about this team practices really well, but what's the temperature of the group since the playoffs have started, and how have they really increased themselves over their work during the weeks?
I just think it's a consistent process that we have. Our Monday through Thursday is what we do. Our kids have done it well all year. Of course, they get a little bit more excited as the weather gets cooler. They all love that, but except maybe the quarterbacks and receivers,
Sure.
but the linemen sure do. These guys have just been steady. They've been consistent. They've been steady in their preparation. I think when they've made a mistake, you can call them on it and tell them. They listen, they learn, they correct it, and just the excitement level for playoff games is just different. But as far as our preparation and their temperature, they're confident, they're excited, they want to go play ball.
Yeah. Well, and with the success, as that success happens, it doesn't happen with putting good weeks of practice together and keeping those guys focused. You coach sports, and sometimes the kids are halfway out the door, and it doesn't feel that way. With this group of guys, that comes down to, I think, player leadership and accountability. Coach Soup, what have you seen? And you're new here, but you've been here enough. It's been a whole season and then some, really, for if you look at the normal football program. But what have you noticed about the growth of this group of offensive guys that you're really with every day? What has the growth been like for those guys?
I think just being new, the big thing that sticks out to me is the guys that were here, players, coaches, just welcoming new coaches and some of our players that are new. We were welcome, but the big deal is you got to come to work. And so we've always, I think, taken the approach of, hey, we need to be physical and we've got to play fast. That's the way summer weights went. That's the way team meetings go. And there's just a consistency. And I also want to give a shout out. The biggest thing I see about Tuttle Athletics is the kids show up to practice. They show up to weights. We're not fighting things that other communities fight as far as just being there, being present. So there's an expectation and a standard. And I tell all my friends, I'll say, what's the difference? There's no tricks. They show up and they work. And it's in all the sports. It's in the classroom. It's just a great place to be. But the kids have been wonderful. They've taken something maybe Coach Brain comes up with each week. They take it, we practice it, we run it, and we go try to be the best we can at it. And I think we are good teammates to each other. I feel like we spread the ball around. A group like this with this many talented people can be a problem sometimes, but this group is not. They if they get an opportunity, they know they probably need to make a play because somebody else is probably going to make a play when they get their shot.
Yeah.
So just a great group. It's been fun.
Coach Brand, talk about those fun toys and weapons you get to play. You know, it's like sometimes I'm like, hey, it's like build a roster. Sometimes you feel like with some of the games we've had, and I say that as not a member of the coaching staff. I get to say stuff like that. But you know, I see guys like Brady McAdoo that you can put anywhere, and having a guy like Sean in the backfield, and having C.J. Simon, a UTEP commit signee. Division I player, and then the Lane brothers are in the middle. And I tell people all the time, they're like, "Well, you know, I think you think they're going to try to take away, you know, CJ and McAdoo." I'm like, I think everybody tries to take those guys away, but you can't because there's Jalen and Jordan. I mean, those guys got your touchdown each last week, and Cruz does a great job getting them the ball. But maybe talk about what that's like, kind of, you know, spreading the love and keeping everybody, if you want to say, happy. I don't think that's necessarily what your goals are, but it plays a part in it as a high school athlete and who gets to do the touchdown picture and all that stuff. So, but talk a little bit about that how that's been a challenge, or if it is.
Well, we talked about right before the playoffs started. Shoop and I were talking. We were just like, man, we got to get this guy 10 touches and this guy 5 touches and this guy, you know, whatever it was. And we eventually were, you know, we got to Thursday of that week and we were like, you know what? Who cares who touched it? Let's just go out there and call our offense. And if they're doubling McAdoo, we'll throw it to CJ. If they're doubling both of them, we'll hand it to Sean.
Yeah.
And then I told you after the Chickasha game, we talked and I said, eventually the Lane brothers or Zarian are going to win us a football game, you know, and both Lane brothers had a touchdown last week. Zarian had a touchdown the week before. You know, those guys are finally, you know, people are just like, we have to worry so much about Sean, Brady, and CJ that the rest of the guys are coming open now and they're capable. Heck, we've got 2 guys on defense right now that would start on any team in the state at receiver.
Yeah.
And we can't get them the ball just because there's so many people and they play defense. And it's been a blessing for us. None of our offensive linemen have had to play both ways. None of our defensive linemen have had to play both ways. We've got, you know, our safeties pretty much don't play offense. So that's been huge for us. It's just truly a blessing to have all the weapons. And like, I feel bad for Sean sometimes because you're like, man, I'd love to give him some more catches, but they're just packing the box. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, actually, and he was like, man, that kid is just hungry when he runs the ball. I said, well, heck, he may not get it again. He's got to know that, you know, this next carry may be my last one. You know, I might only get a handful tonight. So he's done an awesome job at, you know, not being selfish and pass protecting and doing whatever we ask of him. And then last week we go out there and we're like, you're going to have to run it 30 times, dude, and go win the game for us. And he had 155 yards rushing at halftime.
Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, and Coach B mentioned, you know, you get that stop at the goal line, and then the next play, Roundsville's 50 yards downfield, and you could breathe again, and it really felt like, man, that was just a moment in that game that maybe punched Bethany too much, and they couldn't get up from it. So Sean was huge in that. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our last segment. We're going to kind of recap what all's gone on, some numbers, and talk about those guys, those players that you guys like to watch. We'll be right back on Tiger TV.
Country Equipment is your locally owned full-service dealer of Kubota, Polaris, Skag, and Hustler equipment. Whether it's for 2 or 200 acres, Country Equipment has the Kubota tractor and attachments to help you get the job done. Country Equipment carries a full line of trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, and more from top brands like Echo and Steel. Mowers from brands like Kubota, Hustler, and Skag are sure to keep your place looking great all year round. Plus, a full parts and service department for all the brands we carry. Come see us today at your locally owned Country Equipment. Life is complex enough. With decades of experience, Cornerstone Insurance Group makes insurance simple. We can help with coverage for your home, farm, or ranch, coverage for all the drivers, cars, and equipment in and around your house, coverage for your business, large or small, life insurance to give you peace of mind. Call or stop by today, and one of our experienced, licensed agents will shop dozens of insurance companies for you, saving you time and money. Call our office or visit us online at oklahomainsured.com.
How long's it been since you had pizza? I mean good pizza. Piping hot, cheesy pizza that'll make your mouth water. At the Pizza Shop, we make old school pizza at old school prices. The Pizza Shop, 410 East Main, Tuttle.
Looking for the perfect way to satisfy your barbecue cravings? Look no further. We welcome everyone to enjoy our mouth-watering barbecue made with love and care. With a kids menu and outdoor patio, we have something for all ages. Come for the barbecue, stay for the good times with family and friends.
As a mama, you're constantly pulled in every direction. HotWorks is where you get to hit pause. Sweat out the stresses you recenter in just 30 minutes. You deserve this.
At Marshall Auto Supply, our Napa certified parts professionals are here to help. We stock a wide variety of parts and accessories for all makes and models. Marshall Auto Supply. Stop by or call us today. Located in Chickasha or on Main Street in Tuttle.
Stay ahead of the curve and keep your small engines running right this off-season. At Simmer Sales and Service, we have you covered. Bring your equipment over for a full winter tune-up or repair. Our full-service shop is ready for you just 2 miles east of Tuttle. We're locally and family-owned. You'll leave saying, Simmer, good people.
Whether you just came from a workout or you're just out and about, our Social Sips have everything you need to feel good to feel good. Here at Social, we have a variety of teas, shakes, social bowls, or you can even try one of our cold brew coffees, made with you in mind. At Mustang Social and Hometown Social, it's always tea time.
All right, we're back here on the playoff preview show and tuning up for a Saturday football game, 1 o'clock, like the big guys get to do it during the daytime over at UCO. An awesome venue, same guy that helped build our palace, built their palace. The waterfall in the background, that's a cool venue, and that place has changed a lot since I went to school there, and that was just, in 2010, 2009, 2010-ish area. But that place it's a beautiful football stadium now. Talk about the atmosphere, I guess, Coach B, of maybe some state championship games that you guys have been a part of in the past. I know Coach Shoup, you've been a part of some at Cushing when you were there, and not sure your history, if you've been a part of that, but
He's got one.
He's got one at Ellick.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but going from know where you're going to play the state finals game to now everything's right there. I think it's a pretty cool deal that they've done and partnered with Chad Richardson and the UCO Broncos.
Pretty neat stuff. The great facility. It's the right size for high school football games. It's gorgeous. They've pumped a lot of money into it. My first one as a coach was at Stillwater. It was a 1 o'clock game against Derek Patterson and the Kingfisher Yellow Jackets. And loved that. I absolutely loved playing in Stillwater. And then our first one here we played at UConn against Bethany.
Yep.
And we started on November the 30th and finished on December the 1st because of all the rain delays and weather delays. It was quite a fiasco. And then they gave us 10 minutes to celebrate and turn the lights off. But then the last time we played was over at UCO in the finals. So it's just cool. It's so cool for the town and the school. I mean, the kids, we're excited. The team, we're going to go play football. It's cool. But for everyone in the town, the school, the community, all the little kids,
Yeah.
the band, the cheer, the palm, everything, everybody's just super excited, and it's something I wish that every high school kid got to experience things like that. It just such a payoff for all, and I'm just looking forward to it, the whole thing, and being 1 o'clock in the afternoon is supposed to be sunny. It's going to be a cool day.
Yeah. And there's a lot of success at Tuttle. It's a place where a lot of people play late into the seasons, a lot of different sports, not just a few of them, but a lot of them. And I think the fans need to understand. And we talk to our guys all the time, and sometimes it maybe goes in one ear out the other, but it is so hard to make a state finals.
Well, how many years has Tuttle been playing football?
I can't answer that question.
100.
Yeah.
This is the 7th team to make it to the state
Yeah.
finals.
So
The
7% of the time. 7% of the time you go to the finals, and half of that probably, I don't know, you win it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's an incredible feat just to make it there. And you talk about our athletic programs across the board. It's like wrestling pencils in themselves there. But it's just a big deal. And I think that if you're listening or watching, I challenge you to get out and make it a big deal, just like it was the first time you ever watched one, or the last time you went to one. It's a big deal, and for all sports across the board, man, there's nothing like a state championship atmosphere, and it makes it really special. It's really special anyway, but those kids really remember the crowd that comes out. I'll never forget the baseball game at Bricktown a few years ago against Blanchard. There's 6,000 people there, and we have a delay of 4 hours, and I mean, it was incredible, the most electric experience I've had, and it's because of our community, and so it's a challenge again. It's gonna be nice enough. There's not much football going on, Saturday as for Army Navy, you gotta watch that one, but you can record it or whatever you need to do and come out and watch the Tigers. So, we're gonna shift a little bit, talk a little bit about the year, and go over our offensive stats. We'll pop up the graphic, talk about a couple guys, maybe put it back down and let coaches talk about these guys and maybe go back to it. But looking at the offensive stats, and it starts with the quarterback is the guy that gets his picture on the TV and the newspaper, the internet more than anybody nowadays. But Cruz is 143 of 221, 65% on the year completing it, and then 2,713 yards. I think what sticks out is the 2 interceptions compared to the 38 touchdowns. But I'll let you guys maybe touch on the quarterback play and what that's. I mean, we've seen it, but maybe a little more in depth with that guy.
I think being around Cruz is a lot of fun because I think he's pretty consistent. The way he carries himself every day in practice or at a meeting or any type of drill, he's consistent. And to me, those statistics look consistent. I do want to say this: me and Cruz never talk about stats or anything. We always talk about where the run fitters are, and we got to take what the defense gives us. So his appreciation and value of the football, shows up there too with only 2 picks. One of them I wish we could have back.
One of them was a fluke, tipped off of
Yeah.
diving for it.
Yeah.
Tipped. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
played hacky all of a sudden. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
the one at Tecumseh, that they got us. But other than that, he's been great. But I also want to say he's been blessed with a great run game and a great O-line and kids that have caught the ball and made plays, because none of those stats happen just because of him. So Coach Brand's got great ideas, great schemes too, and our job is just to go execute. And then he's very cool and collected for the most part on Friday nights too. He's easy to talk to, and so you really don't have to overcoach Cruz. We just, feel comfortable with stuff, and he communicates back what he likes and maybe what he doesn't feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and I think if you ever talk to Cruz, I've talked to him several times in interviews. It's like he's sponsored by his offensive line. Like Cruz Campbell, brought to you by the offensive line, and that kid talks about his teammates more than any person on the roster, and it maybe it's because we talked to him several times more, but He's always complimentary of those guys up front. Coach Brand, maybe go over those guys up front and kind of where we talked about it before, but where they were at the summertime, and oh my gosh, what are we going to do to a unit that moves in sync for the most part every Friday night or Saturday, hopefully this week.
Yeah, I mean, when I got here, Coach Ballard said, we've got 2 starters coming back, and then I don't know who the 3 are gonna be. Good luck. Eventually threw me to the wolves and it's like figure it out. But they've been incredible. The first week of the season, then we get the toughest matchup we've had so far as run game. Guthrie, I think they held us to 14 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And then I was going back on Saturday after that game, like, man, Ballard was right. God, we're struggling a little bit, but then those guys just turned it on. The fact of the matter was that Guthrie had played man coverage the whole game and sent everybody else at the quarterback, so we didn't have a lot of opportunities to run the ball. We squeaked out a win that night, and ever since then, I just feel like those guys have gotten better and better every night. Tandon White and Mikey Turner have done an awesome, or Mikey Avalar have done a great job of leading as the 2 experienced guys. And, in individual drills, they're the guys that hold us together as far as leadership goes. And, you know, they do an awesome job of scheme every week. We try to, tweak some things here and there on our gap scheme stuff, our zone scheme stuff, as far as the guy we're kicking, the guy we're swabbing, how we're doing it. And they've done an awesome job of being locked in, paying attention to that. And their pass protection's been really good too. I mean, we do give up a sack now and again, but they've been pretty solid as far as protection for Cruz when we do throw the ball.
When we do throw the ball, we take a look at those numbers again real quick. You see, these are I didn't list everybody's name on here that had a catch this year, but those are kind of the leaders of the group as far as the numbers. CJ Simon has had a big year, 55 catches for 911 yards, 12 of them touchdowns. Basically a touchdown a week out of him is what you're getting. He battled through a little bit of injury partway through the year with a shoulder, but all better now, and it showed last week. Averaging almost 17 yards every time he touches the football. You got McAdoo and the 16 touchdown catches out of him and catching it every time he touches it in the air. It's 20 yards. That's a big deal. And then I think Jalen and Jordan have really put pressure on people that they didn't know was coming. And you look at them and I think that they're 2 of the best tacklers in the secondary of any high school corner I've ever seen. And both of them do a phenomenal job coming up and just having their feet underneath them and making tackles. But then you put them in the slot, you can put them in motion and give people some problems with them. And I think they've both, I mean, they're twins and the numbers aren't far off from that. Jalen's got a few more TDs, but maybe a few more snaps as well. So talk a little bit about those receivers, Coach Shoop, and CJ and those guys and the threats they pose.
Obviously, to me, and talking to friends out there when we play them, those guys all jump on, they jump off the film because of team speed and they run well. I think their willingness to be great teammates to each other is important. And I also want to say our practices are pretty spirited. If somebody drops one, you got to have thick skin because the rest of the guys are going to let them know about it. So I think the way in which we practice, the way in which we move throughout drills, we get a lot of reps in a short amount of time, and those guys, to me, play the way in which we practice, which is really fast. Jalen and Jordan, really, football-wise, are really awesome to be around because you can throw them something simple, and they do it. And then, obviously, Brady can do a lot of things, and then CJ, I'm proud of him for taking to the new and working his tail off every day and having competition because all of those guys compete against each other. And I remember in preseason one-on-ones, DB versus receiver was pretty intense. And jokingly, me and Coach Brand talked one day, if we put our 22 best players out there with all those skill guys, it would be a heck of a who can get a first down, who's going to stop us. So just great kids, fun to be around. And I think hopefully they'll take this into life is they've made people around them better and they've had success because of those other guys. And just great to be around, great parents and appreciative of those guys.
The guy that is not on the list and won't be on the list, he's kind of the hybrid guy, is Will Garrett. Will's our tight end, fullback type kid. He's got 1 catch on the season. He is really the glue of our offense. He's our adjuster. We move him all over the place. He makes us right formation wise. He's done an awesome job blocking. We had 3 or 4 guys kind of trying to get that spot in the offseason, and he kind of stood out at the end. He's a very intelligent player. hopefully we can get him the ball a little bit this week. He might be the guy that wins the game. We've got some stuff in for him, and he's done an awesome job as far as, he doesn't have to have the ball to be happy. Of course he wants the ball. All of them want the
You
ball.
play fullback, you're not going to be happy about getting the ball. 2024.
That's what we told him.
Ain't Bruce Johnson's left in the world.
Dude, we want you to just go knock a hole for our running back, and every once in a while we'll get you the ball if we can. But he's done an outstanding job for us all season and has been very reliable.
Well, you talk about the running back, and it's been a durable guy back there. Coach B, I talk about, you can see when he runs the football. I don't know how many times this year he's actually, when he gets tackled, he falls on his backside. He's very balanced with his wrestling background. You think he's going down, his head stays up, and he keeps going. There's been several times just in some big games, really, that last week, I'm like, well, are they going to blow the whistle? And then 10 yards later, he is coming out of the pile, dragging people and staying on his feet. Maybe talk about Sean and just saying, hey, you're the running back, and we'll help you out a little bit, give you a break, but you got to take these carries. Talk about that.
He's grown up so much, just as a teammate, as a player, as a competitor. I think he's matured greatly this year. Talk about being the running back and what we've faced in the past as far as 9 or 10 man boxes. I mean, there's a lot of people in there, so the way we can throw the ball around a little bit more effectively this year has sure lightened the box a little bit and gives him a little bit more space. And I know he appreciates the heck out of it. But he's been durable. He's been competitive. He takes pride in ball security. He told me all year long, I haven't fumbled. I ride his tail about ball security. I haven't fumbled, coach. And then he fumbled once. So now I was like, you have to listen again.
It's good that it happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's been great. He's really pretty funny in practice. And I think one thing that's a little bit under notice too is what a good job he's done in pass protection. And a year ago, that was not a strong point for him. And I think he's worked hard at it. I think he's made it a point. And I think he's played his role extremely well for us this year.
Well, he's had a big year. I mean, carried it 218 times for 1,435 yards, 18 touchdowns. And he's averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. 6.5 yards a carry is a big deal. If you touch the football, hand it off to you, and you get most of that yardage right now. We talked about it during broadcast of the games. Eli and I would talk about, there's another 6 yards on first down. It makes life a lot easier for these guys to decide, hey, we can take a shot here. We don't have to be as careful and get these. I mean, you've got a lot more confidence. And I think Sean's provided a lot of that. Somebody, I'm going to skip down to the bottom of those stats there. Somebody we really haven't talked about much this year because they just don't get talked about much, and you don't want them to talk about you much, really, is the kicking game and Garrett Ogg.
Well, we've got the kicking coach,
the kicking guru right here. Coach Shoup, Garrett. I said, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but 58 of 59 on extra points for the year is his numbers. He's 4-4 on field goals. He hit a 39-yarder early in week one, but he made a field goal last week when he needed a field goal and put us up 24-0 instead of 21-0. That's a big deal. But had 37 touchbacks. He had 4 of them last week. And he's a guy that will kick the ball and run down the field and strike you. He doesn't. Not a lot of kickers want to tackle, and Garrett Ogg is all about that life too. So maybe touch on the old kicker there and the time you put in with him and Garrett Ogg.
Well, I know the way our practice structure works is we get 10 minutes a day, which is a lot. A lot of programs don't do anything with special teams until on the bus on the way to the game. So Garrett gets plenty of time. Him and Diego and Fliardi, they all get to work. But Garrett has worked hard, and he's got a special talent. I think we'll all agree with that. And if he'll just go through the same routine, he's really incredible in practice. So he's had his best practices here as of late. It's what's crazy about the 58 out of 59. But couldn't be more proud of him and all the special teams units. I think that has been a big time part of this football team being 13-0, and guys that do their role well. When Coach talks about that, to me, Ty Hudson, Colby does it well. Guys like that, and I know we're missing people, but I mean, if you're on a special teams, it's being a starter of a high school football team, and I think those kids have taken to that. But it's been fun to be around Garrett. He works hard, and I thought he had a great game against Bethany. Big field goal right before half, so great snap, great snap by Nick, great hold by Jet, and then made the kick. So,
Well, you talked about the special teams unit. I mean, you got some young guys going out there. Those are really good young players. And on the offensive side of the ball, I wanted to go back real quick before we get into the defensive side. But you talked about, CJ and Brady and the things that they do at practice and the competition that they provide each other. How much better does it make a ninth grader like Donnie Schluter, who's going to be a really good football player for the Tigers, or you got the running backs and you've got Major Vanderberg, or the quarterback and you got Parker Madison and Bear Vargas, and how do those guys how much better have those pups gotten over this year?
A ton. I mean, if you come to our practice, especially defensive backs, you stick Donnie Schluter down there in a group with the twins, CJ, Zarian,
Got to grow up.
Jay, Colby. I mean, you're the baby boy, and they're not giving you any slack at all.
Yeah.
And we've pushed Donnie a lot out of his comfort zone. And to his credit, he's responded.
Yeah.
He has vastly improved. And you see that we start putting him on the field more. And I think when we're done with football after this week, I think you'll see Donnie making big plays in basketball as well. He's a heck of an athlete, and he's really matured as far as letting people coach him and correct him and compete with him and not shutting it down, learning to fight. And been so proud of him. You could see he and Bear on our kickoff team.
Bear will go get somebody.
Yes. I think when we put them on there, when we kick it, they're going to go. And, Bear's going to be on another special team this week. He's going to be on the punt team as well. So those guys have done an excellent job. And all of our freshmen, we've kept them with our varsity all year. And our practices are very competitive, especially early in the season. We made sure they got their time. And they're getting their individual time with coaches to improve and work on their craft. And they've all improved a bunch.
In the return game, McAdoo with four returns on punts for touchdowns. As a coach, and you're coaching against a guy like him, you're so worried. You got to kick it away from him. You got to kick it out of bounds. And a lot of the times, I think, you've gotten huge returns out of him. You've gotten massive field position swings because people trying to kick it away from him and end up putting it in the stands a little bit earlier than they want to. A guy like that, what's it change offensively for you guys when hey, if he catches a punt, there's a chance he's going to go get us in scoring position right now, or scoring position, second man on second base, less than 2 outs. We're ready to score. What's that like, having a guy that you can say, hey, I hope they kick it to him, because if he does, we're going to get a good chance to score right here?
Yeah, I think offensively, wherever we get the ball, our job's to move it. But I guess young people and everyone's into these analytics. It's easier to score the shorter the field is. So, and credit to not only Brady, but the people blocking too. They've taken to what Coach Ballard's taught on the schemes each week, and they go out and execute it. Because to me, it's a huge weapon. But it totally changes, to me, everything that's going on in the game. And it is. I'll just say this: at Tuttle, we value special teams, and it's a huge part of why we're sitting where we're at. And we need to have another great outing against Elgin, who we think does a real good job on special teams too. So it'll be a factor in the game, but those guys have been doing it all year. So we're excited about their opportunity on Saturday.
I remember my old coach, Coach Whitson, I was the punter, and he said, you kick it to Prentice Elliott one time, I'll cut your right leg off. And I would kick it in the stands, and he'd say, I don't care if it goes backwards. If it goes to him,
yes.
It's dead. So that was the pressure I may feel, the same people have felt this year. But defensively, you're coming off of a shutout. We talked about that. I'll go down the team defensive stats real quick on the right side of your screen there. 13 games, 4 of them shutouts. If you play the whole defense the whole game, you probably have a few more shutouts. There were some late scores there from varsity against younger guys, but allowing about 215 yards a game, 100 yards of passing a game, 112 yards rushing a game. So, you've allowed 12 offensive touchdowns, Coach B. Coach Lemming's group there, three through the air, 9 on the ground. And it's not a lot of scoring that's happened against us. And I know you'll tell us, these numbers don't mean much, but these numbers stick out when you have numbers like that. You cause 29 turnovers in 13 football games. That's a massive amount of the ball coming back to your offense. Um, but I'll let you run down those team stats and kind of what goes into having a unit like that.
It's selfless. I mean, defense is being selfless and having the guts to run. It's a lot of hustle. It's a lot of this is where my eyes belong. This is where I have to go when this happens. And we've got the right people in the right spots. I felt like early. I know after that first game, Coach Limo and I sat up here all day Saturday and just, hey, I don't know if this is, what we need to do. And as coaches, we feel like the thing we have to do is make sure we have our players in a position to succeed.
Mhm.
And it's hard sometimes to change what you've been doing, but we did. And them being receptive to it and excelling at it says a lot about their character and their willingness to win. And defense is just, gosh, if you ask Luke and Adrian, who are our leading tacklers, why they're successful, they're going to preach to you about the defensive line
Yep.
taking up a double team or moving to get them in open space. If you ask Jet and the Twins about interceptions, they're going to tell you the linebackers put pressure on the quarterback, so we didn't have to cover very long.
Yeah.
And all of them are correct.
Yeah.
It's got to be a team thing. If one guy dominates your defense statistically, it's probably not a very good team defense.
Well, you just run the other way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think, as Coach Shute mentioned earlier, I think our team speed lends itself to what we've had to do on defense to be successful. And these guys just go out and do it over and over and over. And listen, they're not afraid to be challenged in practice. They'll challenge each other in practice. And to get competition makes us all better. And these guys, I'm telling you, the DBs and stuff, when they go at it in practice, one-on-ones and stuff, it is not always friendly.
Mhm.
And
It shouldn't be.
no, and nobody's safe. Like Cruz hears about it too.
Mhm.
If they touch one of the balls he threw, he's going to hear about it. He'll tell them about it.
Yeah.
And I know that's fun for them and it's fun banter, but it's absolutely 100% something that gives us a chance to improve every week. And these guys have all taken that to heart.
Well, we look back at those numbers right there, and you see the tackles. Luke Falwell with 129, 42 of those solo. Adrian Aguilar 122 and 33 solo tackles. Tyrese has really jumped in there on the fly, hopping out of boot camp and into the football field.
What a year for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, what a dude.
He's going to serve our country, man. You
Yeah.
talk about guts, and we're thankful for what he's made a choice to do for our country. It's a big deal to us, and we love him for it.
And what our country has provided for him and his training, man, he brought it. He comes back a different football player.
Mhm.
He's not the same football player, and you grow up a lot because you have to. It's almost like, hey, maybe instead of 7-on-7 this summer, we're going to boot camp. Go sign up, and we're going to get you in the military and get you right. But Tyrese has had a great year. Jets, 61 tackles on the year, and really come up. And Cam McDoulet as a mainstay there on the defensive end spot. But sacks, Cam's gotten to the quarterback 9 times. And then Adrian with 8, and then Cam a couple forced fumbles. The interceptions, it's not like, oh, someone has 8 interceptions or 9. It's everybody has 2 or 1. It's there's a bunch of interceptions out there. You look at 18 interceptions and there's 4 guys listed right there. That means there's a bunch more guys. So that probably comes from those practice sessions, and then some defensive touchdowns, some fumble recoveries there. Propes, guys like that go. Maybe their role's not massive as far as the number of snaps on defense in certain games, but man, he's dependable to go in there and replace McAdoo when he needs to catch his breath or stretch or
And
whatever.
that's going to happen. There's no telling with Brady. Brady plays a lot of plays, does a lot of things for us, punts, returns punts, all the things. And having a guy like Wyatt locked into the game and he knows going in, all these plays are probably not mine.
Mhm.
And as a human being, that's not natural to accept that.
Sure.
And he doesn't accept it, but he knows this is my role. This is what I have to do to be successful and to help our team. And he has grown into that. He's matured. He knows his role, and when he goes out there, he wants to play it with everything he's got. And like those 2 outside linebacker positions, you have to have 3 guys that can play those 2 spots, and we do. And Coach Shute mentioned a couple of guys earlier, and I think he's right on the money. Kind of our special teams captain guys, in my mind, are two young men that are seniors and have really worked hard this year and throughout the years in our program. And I'm talking about Kobe Oglesby and Ty Hudson, guys that you may not see out there on O&D a ton, but they get their shots out there every once in a while. And then on all of our special teams, everything, and know what to do, where to go, can help young guys out. They have played a tremendous role in our success.
Well, football, there's a reason you got 85 men on the college roster right now. I mean, it's a lot of things that people have to do. There's practice players that make a massive difference. If your guys are going up against in practice are not trying hard, you're not going to be a very good football team. And on the other side of that, when you practice hard, you get better against really good players. So it is a unit that works together, and it's been a really fun unit to watch this year. And hats off to the staff and Coach Lemming, who's unable to be here tonight. He's over watching the middle school basketball tonight. Walker thinks he's a really good basketball player. I don't know. He runs that mouth, but I don't know how much. No, he's a good. Walker's fun, but shout out to Coach Lemming. It's been a heck of a season. It's been fun to watch you guys. I know you guys pretty well just from the coaching lifestyle, and I know what all goes into it. I know what all hours go into it. I know while you're at home, instead of doing certain things, you're probably on Huddle and watching things and coming up with plans for these guys. But Coach Shoup, any final thoughts about the year and your experience so far this year in Tuttle and what that's been like? But any final thoughts about what's going on for the rest of football season this week?
Well, I mean, just coming to Tuttle, just blessed to have the opportunity to work with the staff that we've got and the administration. Tuttle School's been great. It's been good for me and my family, and we're getting more and more settled in. It's a big change, but it's been a great place to come. And as far as football, the kids have been great, coaches have been great, expectation is there, so that was something fun to be a part of. And then obviously we got one more, so we're excited. We got to practice as long as you possibly could. We get to go play the maximum amount of games, and it's a great opponent, and we respect them, and we're excited for Saturday at 1:00.
And this color red is better color tiger than the orange or black one. Right?
No doubt, no doubt. It's Tuttle Crimson. I'm an O-State guy, so it's Tuttle Crimson.
Me too. Coach Brand, your thoughts on the year and kind of how your experience this year here in Tuttle?
Just like Coach said, it's a blessing to be here. Great administration as far as, them working with you, teaching, coaching, all that stuff. We talked actually in the office before we came up here about how nice it is to be on a staff, that there are no egos. If somebody has an idea, we draw it up on the board.
That's what Coach Bell said. You got to draw it on the board.
If you have an idea, show us.
I've drawn some on the board.
Yeah, I mean,
they've taken outside ideas.
Yeah, you're 1 for 1 on touchdowns on the year. So I mean,
I don't know if I'm 1 for 1. The guys out there, on the field are 1 for 1.
So I mean, it's been like all the coaches, like even just like that right there. I mean, every staff from every different sport in the school, everybody wants everybody to win. Everybody wants everybody to be successful. It's expected. The administration, the other teachers, every student that plays any sport here, any band member, any person in FFA, everybody's going to be successful, and they expect you to be successful, and we all support each other, and that's the coolest thing about Tuttle. I'm pumped for my kids to get to be here and be part of it and everything that we do, and it's again just a blessing to be here.
Coach B,
and I just I pinch myself.
Yep.
How lucky we are. This staff has been a dream to be a head coach with. The way they work together. Like they both said, no egos. Everybody's trying to make the Tuttle Tigers the best product we can make them. And if kids need something, we got to be there to help them and help them get through certain situations. And I think all these guys are committed to that. And I'm just very thankful for our community, our parents, our administration, everyone. Again, it takes a village. I know I say that over and over and over, but anytime we need to feed our kids, get our kids somewhere, anything like that, all we have to do is ask. Justin Evans has been the president of our booster club and done a fantastic job. And I hope you guys got to see our captains walk out the other day.
It's cool.
They'll be there again this week.
Yeah.
So proud of those young men, thankful for all those families. And I just can't say thank you enough for all the support. Everybody wants to help out. Everybody wants to do something, and those are great things. And I'm just so proud of the kids. I'm excited for them to experience it. Cheer, palm, everyone has supported, band. When you come to one of our games, it's quite an experience, and that's what makes Tuttle unique. We can't ever lose that. It is very special to be a Tuttle Tiger.
It's a fun place to be, and I can vouch for all those things you said. It's going to be an awesome environment. I hope you can make it out to Chad Richardson Stadium, campus at UCO and at Edmond at 1 p.m. The gates open at 11:30. You can get tickets online on gofan.co, or you can pay $13 cash at the gate. There'll be a radio broadcast, but we want you to be out in the crowd listening to it in your headphones, like my family used to do at the football games. You see the old people up there with the headphones. But coming to the ballpark Saturday, I think you'll be excited about it. I know the guys are excited. We've talked about it all night. And just an exciting thing to go play for a state championship. Again, Saturday at 1 p.m. at UCO. And for the Tiger TV football broadcast crew, that'll be it for this year. But thanks to Coach B, Coach Brand, and Coach Shoop. And that'll be it for tonight on Tuttle Tiger TV.
And thank you guys.
Oh,
I appreciate you.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be a part of it. I can't spend the time that it takes to coach, but I like to be a part of it. It's an allowance. It's an allowance. So for Tuttle Tiger TV, that'll be it. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.